Every year, the Boston Marathon is easily the most intense and the most frenzied event that I attend. And this year, for the 130th edition, it looks to be no different. So let's hop in a plane and get ready to hit the pop-ups. This is a runner's weekend at the Boston Marathon. Yo, what's going on? Kofuzi coming to you from Newbury Street here in Boston. It's Boston Marathon weekend. This is another year where I won't be running the race, but in my opinion, enjoying Boston Marathon as a spectator, as part of the cheer squad, is the best way to enjoy this ultimate of runners weekends. And one of my favorite things to do when I'm here in Boston during this weekend is to check out all the pop-ups to see how the brands are celebrating. First, let's check out ASICS. Lower level is a little bit more sparse. There are shoes and stuff, so you could do some shoe shopping, but they have intentionally kept the area kind of sparse because this is going to become a permanent pop-up. This space is going to be open all year round, even after the marathon. And the idea is that they wanted to have more of a community hub. They're going to be doing like community runs out of here 3 times a week. This will be a place for a lot of product drops as well. So a lot of exclusives or early releases will be coming to this shop. So interesting to see how like the whole pop-up retail idea has been transforming over the years. A lot has changed really quickly. I had arrived into Boston kind of late in the afternoon, so by the time I was done with ASICS, all the other pop-ups were closed. I stopped to look at the finish line for a minute, and as I was leaving, I bumped into Clayton and Ashley Young. We chatted for a minute, and then when I left, I noticed Clayton and Ashley taking a picture at the finish line together, as if they were just a normal running couple in Boston. I guess the pros really are just like us sometimes. I didn't have anything else on my calendar that first day, so I got a late dinner at the bar by myself at a restaurant next to my hotel. It is about 7:30 in the morning here in Boston on a Friday. I didn't get the best night's sleep last night, and I think it's because my body is way confused about what time zone it's in. I hadn't even thought about the fact that I was in Paris last week, then back at home for a few days, and now I'm 1 hour ahead, and that's probably why last couple of nights I haven't been sleeping so well. It turned out fine. I did end up sleeping again after I woke up early, but I couldn't stay asleep for too long, but I have a lot of work to do, so I got some extra work done. But now I'm gonna get ready to go out for a shakeout run with Herm. It's gonna be over at Marathon Sports on Boylston Street. It's gonna be a Hyper Boost Edge demo run. Looking forward to seeing Herm, but it did just start raining. I could see out the window, so I have to put on a jacket, and I'm gonna run over there, so let's get going. This is my first run since the marathon in Paris last weekend, and I'm feeling really good. This is the finish line, and the Marathon Sports is just a little bit further ahead. So this is the Marathon Sports store right by the finish line. They've got it set up for the Adidas event, but they sell all brands here since it's a regular Marathon Sports location. So they got the shoe wall. They are setting up a bunch more merch. So they got a bandit kit in here. And then of course they've got a bunch of really nice Hyper Boost Edge. Look at this gray color, so good. I just love this color. It's amazing. This is the one that if I were to get a second pair, that's the one I'd get. I might have to get this from my daughter. This store goes really deep. There's so much store here.
Pretty soon, people started arriving so they could demo Evo SL and Hyperboost Edge. And I started bumping into some friends, like Aubrey from the running channel and Jesse, who is one of the leaders of Adidas runners in the US. And then once everyone got fitted for shoes, we got started for the group run.
First, I want to introduce Herms from Herms Run. Will be leading the run. Make sure to be kind, gentle, and empathetic to the people that are running. Remember, the city is still open and there's people going to work today.
Getting going on the run. Really nice turnout here. Some chill miles down Boylston, and then we will head down towards the water. All right, let's go. Made it back. Nice. Feeling good.
After the run, my friend Ashley and her friend wanted to add on some extra miles, so we headed over to the Citgo sign. Ashley says that the Citgo sign is getting moved, so we wanted to stop and get a photo while we still could.
Just left Ashley, and now I'm going to run back to the hotel. Should end up with a little bit more than 6 miles on the day, not quite 6.5. And then hit some pop-ups. Look at these guys. No worries. How are you?
My goal was to hit all the pop-ups in one day, so I had to move as efficiently as possible. So I started on the east end of Boylston/Newberry streets and worked my way west. First up was Bandit. They had a pretty short line at the time I got there, but while I waited, I bumped into Steve Finley, who always hides from the camera, and his wife, Emma Bates.
Hello. Hey, how's it going? How are you?
Good to see you.
You guys made it into the Bandit pop-up next. Not too long of a line today. Inside, it's gorgeous. They've got like a nature, clover, mossy theme, but it still has kind of an industrial feel with the chain link fences that I got in here. It also is a nice foil to last year. They were in the same space. Last year, it was like a kind of like a post-urban, like broken cement, very hard kind of pop-up, and this is very soft, very organic. The collection this time is very much like Celtics inspired, so a lot of basketball themes, basketball notes coming through, and it's always good to see what Bandit is doing. I feel like they're a leader in the space for sure.
Next, I went to see On. I thought this was the pop-up as they had the light spray truck outside where people could try on the Light Spray Cloud Monster 3 Hyper. But this is apparently On's newest permanent retail space, and it's right on Newberry.
Heading down to the lower level now at the On pop-up. Upper level was road and trail. I think this is more of the lifestyle and fitness downstairs. Pretty cool down here.
Over on Boylston Street, I visited Puma's pop-up. I believe this is the same location near the finish line that they had last year, but it was only one storefront and not two this year, meaning they got the single wide and not the double. And so I got really busy here in the Puma shop. It's pretty cool the way they have it set up. So it's with Garmin and Marathon Sports. Garmin's got a bunch of stuff up front. Plus they also have a little area in the back. And right now there's a meet and greet with Jess McLean, which is super cool, but also kind of awkward since she's a Brooks athlete. But she's back there as a representative of Garmin. It's cool to say hi to her. They're doing heat presses. I think they have some of the best customized shirts. Like their heat press options are some of the best that I've seen so far in Boston this year. Really liking that. And then you can hop on the treadmill, try to set a record 1K and get on the leaderboard. So a lot of fun stuff in here. Back on Newberry Street, it was time to visit the original Boston pop-up, the Tracksmith Trackhouse. I always love exploring the Trackhouse because they always have so much running history and so much attention to detail here. Every nook and corner of this space is filled with something that has some sort of running history attached to it. So it's really cool. Today they have vintage Boston Marathon t-shirts for sale, and they are super awesome. It's also one of the oldest Boston Marathon jackets I've ever seen. There's a couch in the upper level of the track house, and I took the opportunity to sit for a moment and chat with my friend Peter. It was a nice moment of calm in the middle of a busy day. Now I'm gonna head downstairs to the lower level. All right, I spent a lot of time at the track house, but I just kept running into a bunch of different friends. Now I'm gonna try to hit a couple more pop-ups before I head over to Brooks. The bottom floor of the Rabbit pop-up, it's 2 floors, was for the collab with Zach, the artist, who wanted to do like a 80s punk theme, and I think the collection is gorgeous. I love the hat especially. And then coming up to the top floor is where the cash shop is. And then there's some more other Boston specific Rabbit products up here. It's really nice. So I ended up staying at ASICS, which is next door to Rabbit. Saw some friends, and then also got to see John Career. Chatted with him a little bit about the race for Monday. So that was nice. He's hanging out with a lot of people. I feel like he should be resting more, but you know, he's a reigning Boston Marathon champion. He knows what he's doing. So I don't think I have time to go to that other pop-up anymore. So I think I'm just gonna head right over to Brooks for the Runner Mag panel. The Brooks space was set up for the panel event with chairs around a center stage, but the space also had an area for recovery as well as some treadmills for testing the Hyperion Max and the Hyperion Elite 6 prototype, which I have not yet had the chance to try. My friend Ashley, who I ran with earlier that day, is the founder of Runner Mag, a new print-only magazine dedicated to women's running, and she was interviewing 3 of the Brooks pros who'd be racing in Boston that weekend. Susanna Sullivan, who recently represented Team USA and finished 4th at the World Championships in Tokyo, Amanda Vestry, a rising star who would be running in her 2nd marathon ever, and Jess McLean, who also represented Team USA in Tokyo and who would be returning to Boston as the top American finisher last year.
Thank you guys so much for being here. It's so great to hear from all of you. I'm wishing you the best of luck on Monday, and thank you all for being here to support, and good luck to everyone out here who's running.
Good morning, guys. It's 9:30 on a Saturday here in Boston. I slept in a little bit because I was up late working, so I didn't get to go watch the BA 5K. So right now, I'm going to my first event, which is a live podcast taping with the Running Channel over at the Running Channel and Sports Tours Basecamp.
Basecamp was a collaboration space between Sports Tours, the Running Channel, and Puma. It was a space for runners to attend events, grab a cup of coffee, or just relax after a busy day visiting pop-ups and the expo. On this particular morning, not only was I going to be interviewed by Andy and Jess from the Running Channel, who I've been following for years, I was also being interviewed by my friend Aubrey, who very recently became part of the Running Channel team. I found Aubrey's content on the internet when he was basically just starting out a couple years ago, and I instantly knew he'd go on to do big things. It's so gratifying to see that growth take shape literally right in front of my eyes. For the panel, we talked about what it was like to run all the world marathon majors. They are all such unique experiences, and this was such an easy conversation to have, as some of my best running memories come from these giant events. And then afterwards, it was time to meet everyone and grab some selfies. I got to meet a lot of new people and also reconnect with people I've met years ago and have been able to stay connected with by running in cities all over the world.
I just finished doing the panel with the Running Channel and Sports Tours, and now I'm running a little bit late, so I gotta head over to the ASICS HQ. They're in new offices now, kind of in the same area, but I gotta find them. And now we're gonna do a Kafuzi Run Club with Nathan Martin.
I can't show you much from the actual ASICS offices, as there was a ton of future product just lying around everywhere, but I was there to do a special live stream for running fans who couldn't be in Boston that weekend, and I had two special guests. First was Nathan Martin, whose career I've been following for a while now and who recently just won the LA Marathon. And then we had ASICS Paul, who is a product expert, and we got to do a live Q&A with the chat where we dove deep into the ASICS lineup and other very nerdy running shoe topics.
Just finished with the Kafuzi Run Club live stream. I thought it went really well. Had a lot of fun with Nathan, and then chatting about shoes with ASICS Paul. And now I'm running a little bit late, so hopefully this e-bike can get me there really fast. I'm gonna go do some plogging with Tina.
After the live stream, I met up with my friend Tina for a plogging event we were co-hosting. Plogging is basically running while picking up trash. And the way I do it, there really isn't all that much running, but for me, it's a great way to have a calm moment with old and new friends during really busy race weekends. Just a week prior, I had bumped into Tina at the finish line of the Paris Marathon, which was a cupless race for the first time for its 50,000 plus finishers. And I didn't know Tina was going to be there, so it was a nice bonus to be able to see my friend twice in 2 weeks. The turnout for plogging was bigger than it was last year, and I think the biggest that I've ever seen for an event that Tina and I have co-hosted. And it was great to have support from Protect Our Winters and Sunto as well. And as a group, we did pick up a lot of trash. Thanks to Tracksmith for letting us use their dumpsters to remove all this garbage. To end the day, I picked up my friend Tommy, who made a last-minute decision to come into Boston, and we went to the Brooks/Running USA party.
Good morning. It is about 7 a.m. here in Boston on a Sunday, the day before the marathon. I'm about to head out to do my shakeout run that I'm hosting with ASICS over at the ASICS Run Shop. Let's run there.
Even though we were doing the shakeout a bit earlier than usual, turnout was still great. Thanks to everyone for coming. I've been doing this for a while, and one of my favorite things is that I recognize so many of you now because you've come to run with me in so many places. ASICS athletes also joined in on the run as well. Marathoner Nathan Martin came, as did miler Rachel MacArthur. And Marathon Sports was there to provide pacers to make sure everyone got to run at a comfortable shakeout pace and no one got lost.
Good morning, Boston! All right, guys, I'm gonna say yo, and you guys will say what's going on. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yo! One thing that I want to bring back from Paris to give to you guys for tomorrow is one of the cheers that I got at the aid stations was Allez Courage, which I'll translate to have courage. And so tomorrow, when you're not sure if you can do it, have courage. When you're not sure if you have anything left, have courage. When you look around and you see someone else struggling, tell them, have courage. So everyone go out there, have courage, and have the best day.
Afterwards, there was time for more selfies and catching up, and luckily, we were able to get our run in before it started raining. After the shakeout, it was time for the after shakeout. Pioneers was hosting an event called The Interlude, a non-running event intended for the time between the last shakeout and the start of the race. It was held in the Concepts space, which is a sports-style fashion boutique on Newbury, and it featured the new Pioneers collaboration with Kane. There was music, an upper level with beverages, and the latest from the Pioneers apparel line. Pioneers has already sent me part of this latest collection. These pants have zippers that go all the way up like tearaway pants from the 90s, and I wore them to the Brooks party the night before. I really like them. Pioneers also sent me the men's version of this long sleeve shrug, which is like the inverse of a singlet. Now, I'm not sure I can pull this off, but if you want to see me try to run in it, comment with the shrug emoji below, and if enough of you do it, I'll give it a try. The energy at the interlude was upbeat but not stressful, and as someone who has been trying for years to figure out more non-running ways to connect with people during big race weekends, I really liked what Pioneers was trying to do. After a shower, the last pop-up I visited was the Adidas Styling Suite. This was an invite-only event with Kwasi Kessie, a stylist who normally works with Adidas athletes and stars. He asked me whether I was looking for something more on the running side or on the comfy side. Because I already have a lot of Adidas running gear, I chose comfy. Kwasi directed me to the Adidas Originals and the collabs in the styling suite. From Adidas Originals, I chose this vintage-inspired shirt, and from the collabs, my eye was drawn to Hermanos Kumuri, a running brand based in Mexico City that I've been obsessed with lately. I was torn between the hoodie and the shirt, but I went with the shirt. Tommy Runs went with the hoodie. And even though I just said I have a lot of Adidas running clothes, I couldn't help myself from picking up a pair of half tights. These have diagonal 3 stripes, which is such a subtle change from the vertical 3 stripes in a pair of half tights I already have, but it feels fresh and bold. And to go with the half tights, I pick up this white singlet and some Adidas running sunglasses because summer training for fall marathons is just around the corner. Afterwards, Tommy and I got a late lunch, and by then, everyone who was in town to support a runner had kind of put their runner to bed for the night. But it was still early, so Tommy, me, Emily Abadi, Thomas from Believe in the Run, and Andrew Castor of Mammoth Track Club had some free time. And we ended up sitting next to a group that decided that they were going to surprise their runner by coming to Boston to cheer on their friend in person. And we happened to get that moment on video. Race day started bright and early for me over at the Athlete Hotel. I wanted to film the parade of the elites as they loaded onto the buses for Hopkinton. But something that has plagued me over the years as I've tried to cover the elite marathoning world is that sometimes I make huge user errors when filming with my cameras. And this year, I just missed the shots, and I don't have any footage from the actual parade. But at least I was able to bump into a lot of friends that I hadn't yet seen over the course of the weekend, so it wasn't a total loss.
All right, just saw the athletes take off. Got to see a lot of friends there as well who I hadn't seen all weekend long yet, so that was really nice. And now this is like one of the quietest hours of the entire weekend because everyone's going to the start line. There's nothing to report. There's no shakeouts to do. And so a lot of people go for a relaxing run right now. So I'm gonna do that, meet up some friends. I guess we're on the run here. We got Thomas, we got Tommy, we got Andrew, we got Coach Castor here with us. We're gonna do a easy 3 along the river and just get the legs moving. Andrew says we have to do pull-ups.
That's pretty good. I can't do.
There we go.
I could probably do 1.
I get my 5 in. 3's good for me.
Let me see if I can do 1.
Yeah.
One solid.
I get my 5 in, then I go back.
Okay, I did 3.
I feel like I accomplished something, you know?
Yeah.
Pull up for every mile.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there he goes. You got it. I'll do 2 more. Yeah, 5 pull-ups for every mile, or pull up for every mile.
After the run, it wasn't long before it was time to head over to the finish line to grab a spot to watch the race.
Looks like John Career just made a move on the guy that was in the lead, closed like 50 meters on him, going uphill at about the mile mark. Should be exciting to see if he can hold on to it and repeat.
I had predicted that John was going to win this race. And if you don't believe me, you can ask Thomas because he has me on camera making the prediction. But I had no idea that the race would be this fast. John Career set a PB on this hilly course, and his PB is very recent from one of the fastest courses in the world, Valencia. And this wasn't the only stunner of a result. Boston doesn't count for world or American records, but if it did, Zuhair Talbi would have set the American record with his blazing time of 2:03:45. And Charles Hicks, who I think this is his second marathon ever, also would have set an American record with his time of 2:04:35. And the fact that a 2:04 only got him 7th place in this race is just really hard for me to comprehend. Clayton Young ran a PB to become a 2:05 guy, and somehow that was only good enough for 3rd American and 11th place. Brian Ford and Joe Klecker also had PB performances, and the fact that they were 12th and 13th just does not compute. Rory Linkletter also ran a PB that day,
and he really should have run 5 seconds faster, because then he would be able to say he was a 2:05 guy.
On the women's side, the results were just as exciting. Sharon Lokedi defended her title, giving Boston dual repeat champions, which I don't think has ever happened. Lois Chemnung came in 2nd, and Mary Ngugi Cooper came in 3rd. Jess McLean defended her position as top American with a 5th place finish in 2:20:49, which is an American course record. Annie Frisbee came in at 2:22 flat to repeat both as 2nd American in Boston and as 8th overall finisher, but this was also a 2.5-minute PB for her. Emily Sisson finished 3rd American at 2:22:39, and Carrie Elwood finally had the marathon day that I thought she was always capable of with a 2:22:53 PB for 4 American women in the top 10. Dakota Popane also ran a PB, but somehow that was only good enough for 5th American and 12th overall. And after that, things started to get very hectic. Elena Hayday and Cody Clevin came in right after Dakota, and I was not that familiar with these two runners, but not only did they each run PBs, Elena had previously never run under 2:30 before, and I think this was Cody's debut marathon. And then I saw Amanda Vestry drag herself across the finish line. So impressive. This was her 2nd marathon, and she PB'd by over a minute. Izzy Bat Doyle had a bit of a disappointing day, as did Susanna Sullivan, who appeared injured as she crossed the line. Meg O'Neill, who I've been following since I met her at CIM years ago, ran a 3-minute PB and really left it all out on the course. And Sarah Hall came in as the Masters champion with a time of 2:31:55.
Tommy and I are leaving the finish line area. We're gonna try to hop on a train and go visit some friends a little bit earlier on the course.
That's exciting.
All right, we got off the train at Beaconsfield, which is a little earlier than we were planning on it. But if we time this right, we might be able to catch Laura. She's doing great, I think. Yes! Yes! Oh, so happy to see you. How are you? You're doing great. You're doing great. That's so awesome. You can do it. You can do it. Good to see you! Ashley! Ashley! Woo! How are you? You look great! Let's go, David! Yeah, David! David! David Salas! Dr. Salas!
Yeah, go, guys, go!
How you feeling? Oh, let's go, let's go! Yeah, let's do it.
See you guys, man.
Yeah, you were cold?
I shut
How
it
you
down.
doing?
I like almost.
Oh,
I pulled over in a port like maybe a mile and a half down, and now I'm just like, it's just finished now.
yeah, all right, man.
I might even be stopping again soon.
Okay.
The Morgan's not sitting all day.
Yeah, but you've been running so fast to get here. So just chill, enjoy the course. Yeah, have fun, have fun.
Good seeing you.
All right, man.
Go, man! Go, man!
Watching a marathon is just so much fun. I spend the entire time screaming and laughing, and from the unbelievable moments at the front to the heartwarming sights in the back, there's no Monday like Marathon Monday.